Welcome back, everyone. Well, you've seen Brooke Goff, the founding attorney of the Goff Law Group, on her billboards all across the state. But how did she make it to where she is today? She is self-made.
Absolutely. She sat down with Melissa Cole to chat all about getting into law school and shared some helpful hints about dealing with financing. Take a look.
Today we're here with Attorney Brooke Goff in her lovely home. And Brooke, we've learned about your journey going from undergrad to law school, initially getting waitlisted. It wasn't a smooth path necessarily.
Sure.
And also humble beginnings is a big part of growing up. So, how do you make law school work coming from a background like that?
Financially, right?
Yeah.
So most people, I feel like we lose some of the people that could be the best lawyers because they're so afraid of the cost. And I also feel like for whatever reason, our society is just so used to taking no for an answer and walking. And it's like, I don't, right? So for me, I got into law school. Well, getting into law school is the hard part. But then you get in and you're like, oh God, what do the bills look like? So I can give you a few pointers as to what people need to know or what they should do if they want to go to law school and they don't have the funds to support it. Because I did, and look at me, right? I got through it. So firstly, FAFSA, right? You got to get it in quick. So law schools, unless you're a select few, it doesn't happen, and you're not one of those people, or you're tuning out to this, right? You are not going to get a scholarship. It's not going to happen. You have to be somebody or be somebody or whatever. So plan on paying full boat minus any grants or anything you get. So the earlier you put in that FAFSA, think about it. The government puts all this money in a pot. If you get in early, there's a lot more money to give you out of the pot. If you get your FAFSA in late, some of that money's already accounted for. They might be a little more stingy, right?
Okay.
So always get your FAFSA in quickly. Law school is the same thing. Get your application in quickly. So law school sometimes does award some money, and you want to get your application in when there's still a pile of money to pull from. Toward the end, there's no longer a pile of money to pull from, right? Mm-hmm. So you get into law school. You get the loans, you take out the loans. I always tell people take only what you need. They build in something called cost of living, which can be up to 20 grand a year. Now, if you come from beginnings like I did, 20 grand would last you 3 years. I mean, literally, I came from a very, very poor town. 20 grand would have gone a long way. But it might sound great now, taking that extra money, but guess what? Once you take it, that has to be paid back down the road at a huge interest rate. You're never gonna dig out. So just take exactly what you need. That's it. You can decline the rest of it. You don't have to take it's a package. Take exactly what you need and then walk away and understand that you are gonna have to pay these things back, right? Mm-hmm. Next point. When you get an offer from law school, that's negotiable. Most people don't.
Oh, I wouldn't think
so. If the school says, listen, here's the grants, here's this, here's that, you're going to have to pay out of pocket $38,000. Well, no, the school, over here said I only had to pay out of pocket 20. And but I want to go to your school. It's negotiable. But the earlier you get it in, the more you can negotiate. You can go back. It's ready. It's an offer of acceptance. So in my world, offer means counter offer, right? So, and now the school may say no, but most of the time they don't. So understand it's just an offer from the school. Negotiate. So many people just sit down and say, okay, here's my package. I'm going. I'm doing this. Dumb. You're leaving money on the table.
So contact the school.
Yeah, contact financial aid.
What else can you do?
Say, listen, there's no way I bring A, B, and C to the table, or going to meet with them. I bring A, B, and C to the table. That's why it's always important, even if you don't want to go to another law school, apply to another one, because you can say, look, I applied here, and they offered me X package, right?
Yeah.
It helps. When you get out of law school, you have to take the bar exam, which is a whole nother thing. So you get through law school, you get to the LSAT, you get through law school, you're not even there yet. You have to take the bar exam, which is awful, right?
Does that require a lot of studying and
3 months? So 3 months of studying, and you have to get it. I used Barbary for mine. There's a ton of them out there now, but it's a lot. So a lot of times what people do is they get out of school, they take the bar exam, and then they get, let's say they pass. They get their first bill for their tuition payment repayment, right, through the loan company. After they've refinanced it, the loan company has done all this stuff, transferred your loan, whatever. You finally get your first bill. Most people are saying, I can defer. You get 3 years of deferment built in. Save it. Save it. You can do income-based repayment. That's one of the options, right? And with income-based repayment, you're going to make the least amount of money in those first 5 years. So use that time to and do what you can afford, and they'll work with you. They just want your money. They'll take it. Whatever, they'll work with you. Save that 3 years for when you have a baby, mother or father, it doesn't matter. Or people get sick. people lose their job. Look at COVID-19. Although they did end up deferring payments, what if they didn't?
Right.
Like, how are people going to pay them? Like, that 36 months is for the next 20 to 30 years of payback.
So don't use it initially.
No, most people think, okay, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to get situated, I'm going to get a, and then I'll start paying it back. They burn all that time. Guys, there's no forgiveness. And by the way, student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. So you're not getting away from them. They will keep coming back. So
Right.
the only way you actually get away from them is if you don't use your education, you don't work, and you don't make any money. Nobody's going to do that, right?
Right.
So understand that, like, that deferment time, that is an opportunity time. Use income-based repayment, because again, the first 5, 6, 7 years of your employment is going to be the lowest income years, and use that and start making those tiny little payments back. And that's it, because it doesn't matter how much your loan is altogether. It matters what you're making. And save that time for when there's a death. And don't use it all, like 3 years. So a few months here, a few months here, a few months here. I want to start a business. 6 months here. Use it for when you really need it, because if it's not there, you're going to need it. You're going to default. You're not going to be able to get a mortgage. You're not going to be able to do anything. And student loans, banks look at that. Like, they want to see, this is the ultimate loan. Well, is she paying that back? You know, so understand that if you follow these little tips and tricks, which I had to live, I had to claw my way through it, you'll be fine.
Well, you've come out on the other side, so now it's
Sure
good
did.
for younger people to hear all this advice and plan.
If I can tell anybody, if you want to be a lawyer, go be a lawyer. Do not let finances, do not let a wait list letter, all the odds have been stacked against me forever, and here I sit. So I'm a normal person. I am not a special person. I am not somebody that comes from money my mom or dad didn't like endow. I'm not. I am a normal person. So normal people can do this. They just have to know what to do. Anybody can call me at any time. Happy to walk them through, happy to answer. Somebody actually saw my last segment and called me. Happy to talk to people.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great advice.
All right, and you can get in touch with Attorney Brooke Goff by visiting gofflawgroup.net. You can also find her on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And still ahead, on your Thursday afternoon, you can play all day at the Urban Air Adventure Park in Waterbury. Nicole Nalepa is bringing us along for some jumping, flying, diving, and more.
Caitlin wants you to read everything today. Your name's in the prompter.
Well, yeah, why don't you try that?
Plus, we all know Connecticut is known for having the best pizza. We're serving up some slices and telling you all about the upcoming Connecticut Pizza and Brew Fest. Great day, Connecticut. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Nice.